you've used free speech to fight back against these Islamic supremacists, very courageously so. And we see this creeping sense, even among Westerners themselves, unknowingly in some cases, trying to stifle free speech for those who criticize Islam or who call for reforms in Islam. Is free speech under attack, and how do we protect it here?
Free speech is under attack. And I have to say to you, for those Medina Muslims, I really do want to emphasize that not all Muslims are a threat to us, to the United States, to the West, or anybody else. In fact, I hope I'm right that most Muslims are not. But there is a subset. Those I describe as Medina Muslims who want to emulate the Prophet Muhammad in the Medina setting.
Millions of them.
Millions of them, absolutely millions of them. If we talk about 1/5 of humanity, even if we said 1%, then we are talking about millions. So yes, there are millions of Muslims who are in that Medina subset who want to emulate the Prophet Muhammad in his Medina being, whatever it is that is his legacy. And they do want to, in what they think is right, they want to dominate the world. And in that sense, they have an idea. You and I think that that idea is bad, but that doesn't matter. If you want to win the hearts and minds of people, you have to put your idea in the marketplace of ideas, and it has to be discussed and debated. Now, you and I know, and I don't know where you fall in the spectrum of ideas, but I know where I fall in the spectrum of ideas. The ideas of freedom and of tolerance and of equality, I want them to be debated because I think they are robust ideas. I'm not going to inhibit anybody from saying what they want. I'm not going to legislate. In fact, I detest it when Europeans go around saying they're going to ban or punish people who deny the Holocaust. Well, it's really bad that they do that. If you put your idea in the marketplace of ideas, then it should be debated. And here's a weakness that I have discovered with those who are pushing the Medina Islam. Their idea is so weak. It is so bad. It is so fragile that a cartoon, a little movie, a naked woman, anything can make it implode and collapse. And Saudi Arabia, the Organization of Islamic Conference, they commit resources that they don't commit to their populations who don't have food, electricity, the basics of life. They commit it to fighting Islamophobia. They have coined this word, Islamophobia, in order to defend this idea from critical thinking. So for us in the West, in the United States of America, in Europe, our soul, the fundamentals of who we are is about free speech, because it is the only civilization in human history that has put in place a platform where individuals can agree and disagree. And if you want the diamond of ideas, you have to put it right there in the platform of ideas, and they can't do that. And so our only weapon and our only defense is to really defend freedom of speech, freedom of expression, our freedoms. So when they come around saying Islamophobia legislates against free speech, we are not to fall for that. We're not to fall for that, because we know that every rational Muslim individual, and I was raised in a Muslim household, I am, to all intents and purposes, I could have been any of those Muslims out there. But once I was exposed to critical thinking, and I started to think critically about what is in the Quran and what Muhammad says, what all these people say, I reached a conclusion that is not attractive to the clergymen in Saudi Arabia. I don't have the resources. I don't have the political power. But here's one thing I have. I have the power of reason. And that's something they can't take away from me or all the other Muslim individuals that they seek to indoctrinate.